Okay, so welcome to this English Language Paper 1 revision video. So in these videos I'm just going to take you through the questions, just talk you through the process of answering them and what the examiners are looking for in terms of what you write and how to get the marks. So I've put this on Show My Homework. This is the practice paper we're going to work with for these videos. I actually gave this to my Year 11 class as well. So they've got this on paper, but it is on Show My Homework. So it's The Great Expectations extract, very famous novel by Charles Dickens. And the questions are there as well. Okay, so the first question we're going to look at on paper 1 is this one. It's paper 1 question 2, and it's to do with the language. It's probably worth just mentioning, you know, the English Language Paper 1 is explorations in creative reading and writing. So it's this kind of emphasis on creative. So you will be given a piece of text, maybe from a novel, a story of some description, and it's something creative. Okay, so, and then again, you know, when you do your writing section, you've got to be creative in that. So looking at question 2. So here's an example of what a question 2 might look like. So read again the 5th paragraph, and there it is in that box there. How does the writer use language to describe the old woman? So, as I said, it's all about language, analysing language, which you've been doing for years and years now. So it's not a new skill to you, but this is just a bit of a video just to take you through it just one last time to reassure you that you do know what you're doing. Okay, so you've got 3 bullet points, and I've always told my class that they should use these bullet points to sort of structure their answer. And also, let's do this in red. They've learned a couple of things. I'm sure the other classes are aware of these, or you might have your own techniques for remembering different language features and techniques. So we've learned massive. I want this to be in red, so let's make this work. It's not going to. Never mind. And deforest. And mostly in creative writing you're going to find things from massive, so metaphors, adjectives, similes, senses, sentence forms, imagery, verbs, emotions. Those are the techniques that you're going to be looking for in here, but also words and phrases as well. Sometimes it may not necessarily be that you can identify exactly what technique is being used, but you can talk about the words and phrases you know, with some sort of confidence about the effects that they're having. And then finally, the 3rd bullet point is sentence forms down here. Okay, so I'm going to give you a chance to read this now, and you need to just pause the video and then have a read through the whole of the source, which you'll find on Show My Homework, and then have a look at this bit that we've zoomed in on for this question, which is the 5th paragraph. So if you go off and do that, and then restart the video once you've read it. Okay, so you've come back and you've read the source and you've read the paragraph. So the question is, how does the writer use language to describe the old woman? So we're just going to highlight the key things. So it's language that we're looking for, and it's this question, how. And whenever you see the word how, it's basically asking you to analyse. So it's asking you to pick out the different language techniques, the words and phrases, and say how they're creating an impact on you, what they're making you think or what they're making you feel. And in this case, it's how it's being used to describe the old woman. So how is the language, how are the words and phrases and techniques being used to create an impact on you in terms of the way the woman is described. So if we have a look at the extract, now I'm going to do this by sort of adding comments like this, and hopefully they're going to fit on. I think I might need to make it a little bit smaller. Yes, here we go. So I saw that everything with my view, which ought to be white, had been white long ago and had lost its brightness and was faded in yellow. So I can see that we've got this word, well, this phrase here, faded and yellow. So, these words are adjectives, so I can obviously use my subject terminology. Adjectives. Faded suggests something that is kind of dying, withering away to nothing, if you like. That was spelt. And then we've got, the contrast between white and yellow as well. So when something fades from white and gone to yellow, it kind of suggests aging. Okay, so we've got this impression of something aging, something dying. I saw that the bride with the bridal dress had withered like the dress she wore. And so I can see here that we've got a simile. So I'm able to talk about a technique, which of course the question asks me to. I saw that the bride within the bridal dress had withered like the dress she wore. So the bride is compared to the fading and yellowing dress. So that's a technique that the writer is using. And also I'd probably zoom in on this word withered here, because I don't know if I put a new comment in there. Yeah, I'd probably focus in on this word withered, because this suggests fading away to nothing, something decaying, like the dress. So we've got the connection made between the dress, which is decaying, and the woman inside that's decaying. So that's giving me the impression that this woman is sort of decaying and perhaps fading away to nothing. Withered suggests weakness as well. Weakness. So if you were in the exam, then you'd be writing all these comments around the extract. It'll probably take you, it should take you less time than it's taking me, because I'm obviously talking you through it. But the point is, what you're doing here is you're already planning what you're going to write, because you're putting all these annotations around and you're doing all the thinking about what these words and what these techniques are making you think or feel. So mine are, it's making me, this word withered, making me think that she's fading away to nothing. There's something decaying, like the dress, like there's this connection to weakness, because this word withers makes me feel as though she's like fading away to nothing. Okay, other things then. I saw that the dress had been put upon a rounded figure of a young woman, and that the figure upon which it now hung loose had shrunk to skin and bone. Once I had been taken one of our old marsh churches to see a skeleton in the ashes of the rich dress that had been dug out of a vault under the church pavement. Now that skeleton seemed to have dark eyes that moved and looked at me. I should have cried out if I could. So there's a number of things here. I could talk about the idea of the sunken eyes, which is quite good. So we've got more adjectives to describe her, and then the fact that she's shrunk to skin and bone. So we've got that imagery. New comment. Imagery of, again, something decaying, something becoming weaker. And it's actually becoming quite an image of horror, the way the woman is being described, an image of horror. And I think here, now that skeleton, so he talks about a skeleton, so we've got a metaphor. So the woman she's not dead, but the woman to him is a skeleton. Which sort of adds to that image of her being, horrific, like a horror thing to look at. And, to have dark eyes that moved and looked at me. I think I might add this to this comment here. So the idea of moving dark eyes makes her seem sinister and frightening. Monstrous. Okay, so these are the things that's the effect that metaphor is having on me. That's what it's making me think of the old woman, because remember the question keeps asking me about the old woman. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this video there. The next video will be me sort of showing you how to write it up, which should be quite straightforward now because I've done most of my thinking with my annotations on the extract. Okay, so I'll stop this one. So if you go to Paper 1 Question 2 Part 2 video, then you'll see me writing it up.